Right, look at that.
Can you hear how crunchy it is? Feels like I'm going to have to learn how to preserve tomatoes real quick. This video is really for our subscribers, for the people who have missed us, who have genuinely missed us.
The 5.
The 5 people who have missed us. Some people will say that I'm crazy, but I know I'm not.
What do you think? Still, we've lost about half the liquid, right? There's no doubt that these are ready. These are becoming a marrow even. Right, look at that. If you wish to look, you will also note that there are a number of cucumbers.
С пупырками!
Ukrainians.
They look amazing.
Not only here, if you search a little bit, you'll find more of them, I think.
Big one.
One big one.
Wow.
There's one under
Sort
here
of
too.
big.
See?
Yeah, there's 2.
Two. One here.
Very
There's 3.
exciting.
One here. There's 2 here. Look at the size of these. Are these ready? Even.
I think they could be ready, yeah. I think we can try them and see.
Hello. And look at this. Wow.
That's good. We're having lunch on the plot today, and Steve told me that I can go and get a fresh cucumber to go with our pasta. And he's correct. Look at them. Look at them. Cuties. Spiky. Just the way I like them. Oh, there's a big one here. Look at this guy. Should only harvest them in the morning, but well, it's quite cool still. It's not too late. It's so tasty. I never used to like cucumbers, but when you've grown your own, it's a different story. So good. The skin is quite thick, so ideally I would peel it, but I don't have a peeler with me. So good. Can you hear how crunchy it is? Don't you think we've had enough of them?
Probably can't see the expression on my face underneath the sunglasses, but I'm sick to the teeth of courgettes. It's a beautiful courgette, no offense, buddy, but
It is really pretty though.
it's too many. It's enough already.
I
Leave
can't
us
have
alone.
any more.
Stop growing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What are these? Pumpkins?
Oh They're called potirons. These are small pumpkins.
Sort of French pumpkin.
French variety, yes. Oh.
Good job. The big ones are still on the vine, right?
Yeah, I filmed them already. I just spotted something red in here. Deep inside the bush.
Yeah, there's some there too.
Oops. Look.
Hello.
Nice. That's a lot of kale.
I've only taken a little bit, only from these two plants. There's a lot of kale.
Smells like a tomato. Mmm. It's good.
Is it the best tomato you've ever tasted?
No, but it's good.
It's a cherry, but it's
I don't think
too large
it's
for a cherry, no?
yeah, not sure it's ready yet.
Wait,
I'm going to let the other one wait.
Wait. Eat it with this.
Caprese.
Uh-huh.
Vegan caprese. It's supposed to be very Ayurvedic if you eat something right off the bush. Tasty. Tomatoes are very bushy and Steve tries to trim them back, but they're very unruly and we made a mistake. We used string to hold them up, but it's, for one, it's become loose and it's just not enough. You can't spot these huge plants. I'm going to show you something interesting. Our first sort of red tomatoes this season. And there's many more to go. This is the first branch I've seen that's fully ripe. All the rest ripen at different times, so I'm really not sure how they sell branches like this at the supermarket. Suspicious. I'm suspicious now.
This is amazing.
I'm not sure how we're going to eat all of that.
We won't, we have to make sauce.
Yeah.
In fact, we need more containers in order to freeze it.
Middle of August. We're not sure what to do with all of the cherry toms we got.
We only collected a small part of them as well. It's at least double.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot
another collection
left.
of this amount, which we could have collected, we just didn't have time or space. So
outside it's very hot and it's hard to collect them.
look at them. We've got some of these dark ones.
Yeah.
Which are, can't remember the name of the variety. I like them.
Yeah.
Justinia doesn't like them as much, but
And
I
then there
like
are
them.
larger ones.
Larger ones, and then we have the traditional red.
Look, this one's spoiled as well.
Yeah, there are one or two that are spoiled. Traditional red
These are
vining
really nice.
ones.
So tonight the plan is to make pizza.
Yes. I found a recipe that makes a sauce from cherry tomatoes. We'll see how it goes.
Not sure about all of the skins, if I'm honest.
Well, I can always liquidize it, right? It's a joke. What am I going to do with this? For all the tomatoes, you need an equal quantity of basil, you realise. So when you're searching, when you find basil, get it.
Alright. It's a little bit of a situation with tomatoes. And we'll have loads back home. Feels like I'm going to have to learn how to preserve tomatoes real quick. I'd have to do it today. Even though, no, today won't work. I don't have any jars. Steve did buy a lot of containers to freeze the tomato sauce. But now he's tasked me with finding enough basil for this amount of tomatoes. And you've seen how many cherry tomatoes I haven't even collected because we have so much at home. I'm starting to get tired of cherry tomatoes, if I'm honest. It was definitely a mistake to plant this many. Look kind of rough. It's been raining. It's kind of windy. And just trying to find tomatoes, just crawling around these bushes. It's tough work.
So it's the 30th of August and I have been in the bushes, in the tomato bushes. You can see behind me here. There's a lot of them. And I have a problem. We've been collecting fruit in large quantities for probably about the last 3 weeks or so, most of August in general. And now we're on the 30th of August and I have this situation. So I've been at it for about 10-15 minutes. I've been concentrating on the big ones. The odd one fell off early like this one. But I just found a glut of San Marzanos, these long ones. We've got just loads like this. This big, beautiful, there's two together here. I think these are Livingston's Beauty. I don't know, I'm guessing I must have at least 4 or 5 kilos here. These are cherries, as usual, endless cherries. I've only been at it 15 minutes. Look at how many more there are. Once you get into that dense jungle over there, it's even worse. What am I gonna do with all of these tomatoes?
Steve is currently making cherry tomato sauce for pizza that we are planning to freeze. There are approximately 500,000 cherry tomatoes still on the plot.
A highly conservative estimate.
Yeah, we collected, well, I did, I collected all these tomatoes today because they split because of the heavy rainfall that we got last night. When tomatoes get too much water, they split and then they spoil. So we decided to, well, Steve decided to make pasta sauce using them, right? What goes into your pasta sauce?
Pasta sauce, onion, long slow fry of onion, like 15-20 minutes with a bit of salt. Then some garlic at the end. Then the tomatoes, a bit of sugar, black pepper, salt, torn basil, fresh basil, and that's it. You cook it down for a long time.
No celery.
Yes, celery. Celery along with the onion too. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. You don't have to, but I like the taste. And then you cook it down. So everything about this recipe is about taking your time, right? You cook the celery and the onions for 15-20 minutes in salt to release their flavors. And then when you get to adding the tomato stage, you put those in and you cook them probably for at least an hour until you get down to a jam-like consistency.
It's really good.
The taste is fantastic. And usually I have like a bunch of fresh basil which I put in at the beginning, and then I save a bunch for the end, add it, and you just end up with this fantastic sauce which is super simple. With, you know, I mean, it's not complicated. The ingredients aren't complicated. You just put it on, leave it, put it on a low heat, and let it reduce.
And we have it with spaghetti or homemade pasta. Different types of pasta. Very easy and fast. Funny butts. Many of them have. I keep thinking, many of them have these holes on their butts. I keep thinking that there must be some insects inside, but usually there isn't anyone inside. So they're sealed inside, I presume.
Yes, so.
We're very proud of our tomato results.
We need to think of a name for our small tomato farm.
The Pomodoro farm.
Pomodoro, well,
Like the Pomodoro method.
I'm not sure it's very creative.
It's creative because it's inspired not by tomatoes but by the Pomodoro method. That's what makes it
So
special.
we're going to sell to people who read all these business books, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
our target audience.
There are some fresh tomatoes that are almost purple. And that's how you know that they're very ripe and very tasty.
Show them.
And also, yeah. And also, another way to know, if you peel your tomato, and I prefer my tomatoes peeled, I might peel these.
Right.
This is the wrong crate.
This is the wrong crate. Let's show there's another crate full of tomatoes.
There's a lot of tomatoes everywhere. We're being taken over. So yeah, when you start peeling your tomato, if it peels easily, it means it's very ripe. Of course, by the time you've started peeling your tomato, it's already too late, so
This
you
is
might as well eat it.
the special crate.
Yeah.
Can't see it very well.
No, you
but
can't see them. These are the ones that I mentioned. Someone pooped on this one, but you can see how they have a shade of sort of purple. Some people will say that I'm crazy, but I know I'm not. And these should be consumed fresh. These seeds that look like they've been sewn with a machine or something. They're so regular and so nice and so neat. I just love it. Love it. I think it's the first time that we've filmed in this new house. We've recently moved again.
Yes, you heard us right. It's all Justinia's idea.
That's not true.
She's addicted. Move is anonymous. It really upsets me.
It's not that anonymous.
Strongly upsets me.
He's just chopping up anonymous. Don't trust him.
It brings me to tears every time. Justinia's, she can't admit her
Addiction.
Oh.
Steve always supports my idea to move. I'm not sure whether you've ever initiated a move yourself. Am I the only one who initiates these moves?
I'm pretty chill. I tend to just in British style, if it's not good enough, we just put up with it and be polite
That's not my
and
type.
don't complain.
That's not my style.
Whereas
Not my
Christina's
vibe.
style is a bit different.
Yeah, everyone asks why do you keep on moving? And I keep telling people that we've never been evicted. It's not that. We're always on good terms with our landlords. But I'm always on the lookout for a better option, for something that would suit us better. Something with more space, both for us and for the cats. With better, what they call in French, prestation, I'm not sure what's the English word for it.
No facilities.
Facilities. Can I tap the facility?
I guess so.
Yeah, they call everything prestation. It's like the equipment, basically. The equipment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been sort of downshifting for a while since basically COVID. Then we moved into the mountains, into a tiny apartment in the mountains. We discussed it today and we came to the conclusion that it probably was the worst so far, even though the location was amazing. It was 5 minutes away from the slopes, and Steve spent something like 50 days on skis that season. Me too, not far behind.
When the lifts didn't even open.
Yeah. Steve did a lot of ski touring.
Very quiet, it's just amazing.
Yeah, but it was tiny. It was 40 square meters maybe. No.
The apartment itself was fine.
It's just
the
a short-term
landlady was
rental.
fine, but it's a typical, if you've been on skiing holidays with an operator, it's that kind of small apartment where there's one bedroom.
You have a sauna.
Yeah, it had a little sauna, which was nice. It had a second bedroom, but it didn't have a door. It was tiny. It was just 2 bunks built in. So it wasn't really it was just too tiny, 40 square meters for us.
Us working full-time from home, we moved there expecting cafes and bars and restaurants to open so we could work in a co-working setting during the day. But we ended up working side by side at the dining table, and cats were on top of us, of course. So then the moment we got a chance, we moved out into a bigger place. Then we moved back to Russia. That didn't work out, as you know. If you don't, there's a 3-part series about the whole endeavor. Yeah. And then we've been moving around ever since, because we've been trying, first we hadn't bought the house, right? Yeah, we need to use these guys as well. Then we bought the house, we wanted to be closer to the house. But we are in a rural area, and there aren't that many options. So you get what you get, right? And then at some point you realize that you probably should look again, because it's not optimal. Plus, in this sort of area, look at this beautiful tomato. Isn't it just perfect? It's a San Marzano. San Marzano. Look at it. It's like from some fairy tale. With that little crown. Yeah, I guess. Many fairy tales are Italian. So yeah, we're in this southern region, in a rural area. And most people live in separate houses, and either you own a house and you live in it, or you want to move and you sell it. Not many people decide to rent their house, right? I feel like that's also an issue. So yeah, but I feel like hopefully, fingers crossed, we've finally found a very good place to live in. Some people asked, what's with the house? Why haven't you moved into your house yet? These people clearly have never renovated a house, number one, and have never done that in France, where every single thing takes much longer, 3 times the time it takes anywhere else.
It's a fair question though, right? Because when we started, we also kind of naively assumed we'd purchase it, we'd get started a few months afterwards, and we'd be done within a year or so. We quickly realised that that's not the case, and that we should have remembered and based ourselves off our other experiences in France. In general, life is slow-paced, and renovation is no exception. In fact, it's even worse.
Yes, because there are very few workers. They have a huge delay, so you have to book them like
The
6
good
months
ones.
in advance.
The good ones.
Yeah.
You can get crap ones really quickly.
Yeah, that's true. And then also we need a loan for the works, and that got us delayed because we didn't have the right status. In order to apply for a loan in France, if you are self-employed, you need to have had that status for at least 2 years.
Sometimes 3,
Sometimes 3.
depending on the bank.
And so the 2 years elapsed only in July, right?
Yeah.
So there was really no point talking about it with the bank. So now we're a bit closer, and our project has evolved. When we got all of the quotes from all of the mason, the plumber, the electrician, who else? The roofer, we realized that we're way out of our budget because everything's become very expensive, and just in general renovation in France is expensive. And so we had to rethink some things, rethink some parts of the layout, but not a major, what do you call it? What do you call it?
Rethinking.
Yeah, not major.
Reevaluation.
Yeah.
U-turn. Disaster.
This is going in the wrong direction.
Do you think that people who are interested in the renovation topic would tune into a video where we're cutting tomatoes at the beginning?
I feel like this is an update. This is an update.
Just saying,
Vlog.
an update over tomatoes. When they see the thumbnail, they're going to be like, no hammers.
Yeah, but
Oh
this
shit,
is-
we left the hammer on the street.
We did?
Did you take the hammer in?
I can't remember. I hope so. Yeah, this is an update because we've been offline for quite a while. Mainly because I've been learning web development, and that has taken 95% of my time. So, sorry about the lack of videos.
She's not exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating.
Like, aside from some breaks to eat lunch and dinner and have a coffee or whatever, okay, you finish it between 6 and 7,
But then I
you
have
eat,
to
and then
study.
you have to prepare yourself for the next day and do the recap of what you had today. Most days you're finishing at like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
It's really intense.
very intense. So, yeah.
That'll be a separate video about what course Justinia chose, how she found it, whether it's worth it. Should be really interesting. But intense it is, there is no question.
So it's been mostly Steve taking care of the garden, but I have have done some important, what do you call it? Performed some important tasks regarding our renovation. For example, we had to talk to our neighbors about the window situation along the wall that we're sharing, that opens onto their garden. And hopefully we've come to arrive at a conclusion. See how I'm struggling with peeling this tomato. It's not ripe. That's why I'm struggling, so I'm not going to peel it. Sorry, guy. This guy maybe. Yeah, that's how you know it's ripe. Perfect. So satisfying.
Is this going to be entitled Secrets of Tomatoes or Life Update?
Life update.
I'm very worried about the positioning of this video. Might have been able to tell.
I think we shouldn't be targeting the whole of YouTube. This video is really for our subscribers, for the people who have missed us, who have genuinely missed us.
The 5.
The 5 people who have missed us. Leave a comment below if you've missed us.
My parents, your parents, and my brother.
Luckily for our YouTube channel, Steve has got a very large family, so we'll get our 5 comments, I hope. I'm hoping.
The pizza sauce is coming along nicely.
Oh yeah. It smells really sweet and it's very tasty. We got this really cool air fryer oven before we moved because we knew we wouldn't have an oven here and we didn't have space for a large oven, even though the kitchen is quite big. So we've been experimenting with pizzas and the experiments have been super successful. It's the tastiest pizza I've ever had.
Mission Impossible Tomato Edition. The most productive tomatoes outside of the cherry tomatoes has been the San Marzano variety. They're called tomate allongée, like stretch tomatoes in French, long tomatoes. And I planted them because I read in a few places that they're exceptionally good for sauces. So this is what we have so far that we haven't eaten. We're now, the 3rd of September today, my brother's birthday. And I've got the big pot out. I'm going to spend a couple of hours cooking these down into an Italian sauce. And we can compare it with the other varieties we've used for sauces as well, because we have a lot of sauce. So how many have you counted them? How many do we have? This isn't all the San Marzanos we've had, because we've been eating them as well, right? But 3.
But I don't think we've lost that many, right?
No.
Or any.
On the plots, they've been really, really good. So many of the, not many, but I would say probably about 15 or 20% of the other tomatoes we've lost due to some skin problems, something on the bottom, a bunch of small issues or cracks and insects getting in. These ones have been remarkably resilient. We've lost very, very few. Almost every one that I've brought home, well, almost everything that I've collected on the plot has come home and has been fine. We've just lost a few in storage because we don't have like a root cellar and it's not. We keep them in a dark cupboard, but still, I'm not able to cook enough every day of all of the different types of tomatoes to save them all. So unfortunately, we lost 1 or 2. But in general, they seem to be a very hardy variety. And you can see, look at them. There are very few, unlike the others. The others, many of them have the cracks, the seams that occur when they suddenly get a lot of water. These ones, and there's virtually nothing, they're all perfectly shaped. This one got squashed in the bag. This is a good life lesson. When you have loads of tomatoes and you're putting them in a cloth bag, like you're collecting and popping them in, obviously you can carry easily a few kilos. But it's not a good idea because the ones on the bottom get squashed by the ones on the top once it gets really full. That's what happened with this one.
We need a basket.
Exactly, but I'm going to use it today, so it doesn't matter. In fact, the only one that's slightly suspect is this one that has that. I don't know what it's called. We'll find out and add it in the video description. Quite a few of the other varieties of the tomatoes have this as well. Maybe it's connected to blight because we did have a few tomato plants with blight. The fungus that's blown in on the wind usually and that thrives in damp. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But in general, look, there's no seams on them. Just picking some at random here. They seem very sturdy, good condition.
And they're very red inside.
You want to see one? I haven't washed one yet, but we can.
It's fine.
A nice one, like this one. Watch. You pick. You're a better picker of tomatoes. Which one do you want to use?
I'm not sure this is San Marzano. It's very wide.
I think it's just a big one, but okay, take a different one.
Let's look at this one.
This one?
Nice. And not too many seeds either.
Mm-hmm.
Very good for sauce, I agree. Cool.
Let's see another one.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see the sauce.
See the sauce. We've only used part of them. I'm not sure whether we'll finish in time. Might be the middle of the night before they finish.
Maybe. There's a lot less liquid now.
Yes, so I think we started actually cooking it. I started chopping around 7. We started cooking, I think, around 7:30. It's now almost 9:30. And we've gone, what do you think? We've lost about half the liquid, right?
I think so,
It's
yeah.
about twice as high. And you can see there's still a little bit of liquid on top. You could stop at this stage if you prefer a more liquidy sauce, but we tend to cook it down to almost jam-like texture, marmalade-like texture, because that's what's in the original recipe from Delia Smith. Actually, I found a book from when I was in my late teens or something, or maybe my mum bought it, I can't remember, somebody. But it was in my room for some reason about Italian cooking. And yeah, this is her recipe, it's just super simple. Cooking it down, you have to persevere. It's like soup at the beginning. It takes you a good couple of hours on a low flame. But the result is fantastic. It's really, really good bolognese sauce for all sorts of Italian dishes.
This is the finished product.